how are you? It's better now. There's no echo, right?
There's no echo. I can see you full screen. It's fantastic. So they were definitely telling us to take a break yesterday.
Yes, they were. All right, so I'm gonna start. I'll just let it continue recording from what Tessa and I did, and I'll just edit the two separately.
Sure, whatever's easier for you.
Hello, everyone. We're here today again for another Astral interview, and this time I have with me Melanie Sereda. And yeah, some of you might be thinking, Sereda, is she related to David Sereda? I don't know. I don't think so. But what we are going to do is find out more about Melanie Sereda and her life and who she is. So welcome her as I welcome her today. Welcome, Melanie. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Yeah, we had some technical issues yesterday and we couldn't proceed, but here we are. And so what we'd like to do is learn more about you. So before you tell us about the event and what you're going to be doing there and more about the event, tell us about you. Who's Melanie?
Oh, I am a world of wonder and confusion, to put it lightly. I came into the spiritual realm, or the aspect of my journey, very late in my life, actually. But growing up younger, I was born in Ontario, moved with family over to Newfoundland, where I lived most of my life. I did all my school years there, graduated high school, even attempted some university, which I found out while going through it was not my path. So in that process, I had an opportunity to come out to British Columbia, and that's where I came. And I even actually was here for just the summer and then moved back to Newfoundland to continue my university, which when I was there realized that it was not the space for me to stay. So, excuse me. In doing that, I moved officially here to British Columbia, and I started my search for work and jobs. And I actually worked with the mentally and physically handicapped adults in a day program, and I helped them get out into the community and did that type of work. And then I kind of ventured into I got into warehousing, and then kind of moved around. My husband and I moved to Calgary for a few years before I came back to BC, where we decided this was our home. I started kind of understanding what I needed in life, which is why we came and stayed in BC, because I know I need to be near the water.
Right.
And wow. The water is a grounding force for me. Water is a way for me to escape. It's a stress release. It is my connection, to the flow of the universe. And I didn't understand this until in my early 30s. So when I lost my father in 2016, and he was a very he was a pillar in my heart, in my family. And though I was so much like him growing up, that he and I never saw eye to eye. We always had friction. But later in life, we resolved those struggles, and I came to know that he was my guide. My father and I were meant to travel this path together. Excuse me, sorry, I have getting a little bit of water here.
Sorry.
So when he passed, I went into a pretty big depression, and I came home from, because he was in Saskatchewan, so I was traveling back and forth between British Columbia and Saskatchewan. And after he passed, I was home again, and at that time my son was very young. He wasn't quite 2. And I came across this ad on Facebook where a local medium was doing a retreat. And when I hear the word retreat, I think, okay, it's going to be relaxing. It's going to be a spa time. It's going to be time to get away, and that type of thing. And so I joined the group. I paid her my dues for the retreat, and I showed up at the retreat, and that was the first time that I remember being affected by energy in that extreme amount. It was
so before that you weren't really in the spiritual arena then? This was your first experience of it?
I always was intrigued by psychics and, card readers and all those types of things. And it's funny because at my high school graduation, we actually had a couple of psychics come, and I've always been intrigued by it. And, I have a couple of people who have passed on prior to my father. So I did go to the medium who facilitated the retreat, and she did a reading for us, and it was fantastic. It blew me out of the water. And so
may I ask who
the reader was?
Who the medium was, yeah.
Melissa White. She's in Maple Ridge.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and so when I started my journey with her at that retreat, it really was, and as soon as I took that first night, that whole experience of meditating for the first time, or starting into the psychic exercises that she had us doing, I'd never touched a tarot deck or an oracle deck or anything prior to that, but as I was doing it, I realized that there was this knowing within me that I've always had, but I'd never understood what it was. And it just felt so normal to me that I think that's where my stubbornness and my bullheadedness came from at an earlier age, because it was just something that I knew I had to do. This is something I knew I had to do. And without an explanation behind it, everyone just called me stubborn.
Right.
So
and that's how we label things like that, right? But ultimately there was a divine purpose to what you were doing and what you were saying, and you had to continue doing what you needed to do to fulfill your destiny. And in doing so, yes, there'll always be people around you who may like or not like what you do.
I'm over that. That's something, and that's funny too, because as I was growing up, I was constantly searching for approval. And that was something that I just never thought I was going to find, was the looking for, oh, do they like me? Am I part of the crowd? Am I doing the right thing? I'm a people pleaser. That's what I'm going for. And, after starting this journey, I realized that the reason I was doing that was because I didn't understand myself.
Right.
And now that I do understand myself, nothing else matters.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So coming away from that retreat you went to, what skills and tools did you come to that to get you to a place where you now actually understand and know yourself better?
Ooh, the retreat was kind of an etherical experience where when I left the retreat, it took me about 3 or 4 days to come back down to earth. And
Right.
because there was such energy in the room with 26 beautiful women that have all this energy together that you've never experienced before, it raises you to a vibration that you've never known. So coming
Right.
home, coming back to, for lack of a better term, the mundane, with my
Right.
husband and my child, who my husband is very scientific. He's an electrician. He's fact based. 2 + 2 = 4. That type of thing. And it's funny because I used to be the same way. It really opened up my eyes. So I had this healing to be done, and I started with Reiki. I did my level 1 Reiki a couple of months later. And
Yeah.
I also did a bi-weekly intuitive development class with Melissa White as well. So I
Right.
was doing that. That's where I started. And in doing that, she taught us how to connect with the energy. She taught us how to understand the information that we were getting. She taught us about all the different clairsenses and which ones connected more with us on a deeper level. And then at a point, so I was working with her for, I want to say, over 2 years, doing the intuitive development classes bi-weekly every single month. And every time we would go to class, we would have homework that was from the last class. We would sit down and we would do little work within class, little exercises with the other students and each other. And
Right.
in doing all of that, I had also gone on and done my level 2 Reiki as well. So knowing that energy was a large part of my life, I learned to understand the energetic side of things. And I really honed in on feeling, knowing, and trusting energy as opposed to, say, words from other people. So
Right.
I became really good at reading the energy of people, regardless of the words or their facial expressions.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, well, 2 years of intuitive training is quite a bit, actually, especially if you do it religiously. Some people might be people who take these courses, on a weekend or a week, and it's not enough until you actually embed these principles into your life and
Yeah.
actually work these principles on a daily basis and experiment with them and evolve your experience with them, because until you do that, it's stagnant still in you. It's like with anything, repetition, repetition, repetition is so important.
And that's
And
how I
sometimes,
felt when I first started the classes. Because what I was
right,
doing when I first started the classes was, okay, I'd go to the class and I believe they were Wednesday evenings. And then Wednesday night when I came home, I wouldn't do anything until maybe Tuesday of the following, so it was 2 weeks ago that go by. So it was the Tuesday night before the class on Wednesday. That's when I would do my homework. So that was the only time I was connecting with spirit energy and, the energy of the universe and the world and on Mother Earth and, the other people. And I found it wasn't enough. And exactly like you said, it wasn't until I started connecting on a daily basis. So I bought a couple of card decks and I started connecting with the energy of the card decks every day. I, pull cards or ask other people just to get practice. And that
just to
connection,
keep
yeah,
just the energy alive.
exactly.
I listen to singing, and then when you want to be a singer, you have to work. You have to do your
Yes,
singing
you
lessons, your singing exercises, and if you're just gonna think, well, it's just gonna magically happen.
do. Yeah,
Yes, it will magically happen when you put in the daily effort to make it happen. When you put
exactly.
in the commitment to engage with it. So the
Mm-hmm.
energy knows that your love for it is just as high or great as you actually say it is. So there has to be a congruency between what you say and what you actually do.
Absolutely. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I found. I started living a spiritual life, not just saying I was a spiritual person. I started living a spiritual life. My mindset changed. My mannerisms changed. My views on other people changed. Like I no longer viewed people as people, and it was the energy that surrounded them. So that helped me deeper connect. And Melissa
Right.
also introduced me into the channeled writing. That was one
Right.
thing that, oh my goodness, when that happened, it was like a piece of my heart just came together.
Oh,
So to be able to channel the messages for people was, I've done it a few different times, and I do it for myself on a regular basis. And
right.
when I do that, I don't know what these messages mean, but the conversations that I've had, and this is something that I can, it sticks with me because it was such a profound experience. One of the pieces of homework for one of our classes was to do guided writing and channeled writing. And the words that came through as I was reading them, Melissa just said, wow. She said, the connection that you have made with spirit is more like a friendship than it is of student teacher. And
Oh, that's so
that's an amazing feat because not a lot of people can get to that point.
right. Right.
So,
Well,
yeah,
it's beautiful sharing your experiences and your intuitive learning and your desire and passion to continue with it. And that says that um, it's not something just frugal for you. It's something really important to you. And
oh, definitely.
seeing behind you now, I'm seeing that you have the essential oils, and
Yes,
that again is of energy. You've talked about Reiki, you've talked about the clairs. I see essential oils behind you. So it says to me that you're serious about energy and you're serious about living in a world of energy and exploring to its max to get the best benefit for yourself and others. And
absolutely.
so I can go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying absolutely because a lot of my offerings that I do now and the work that I do is all spirit led. It's not where
Right,
I thought I was going to go. My first thing was, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to do mediumship and I'm going to do angel card reading or I'm going to do psychic readings. I'm going to do all of that. And spirit kind of went, no, you're not. I've done mediumship courses. I can connect with souls who have passed on. I can. However,
yeah,
it is a struggle for me. And and the reason I say it's a struggle for me is because my vibration is at a different level than where earthbound spirits are now sitting in the afterlife.
yeah,
And I used to be very hard on myself because I thought, no, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to go. And then I realized, well, I have to let spirit lead. So
yes,
I now do soul coaching, which I love because I let my soul connect to the soul of the person that I'm working with. And then we work through their struggles and their strifes, and we allow them to work through it. We do it together, and they make huge advances by doing that because they then learn to trust themselves. If a
right,
spirit from them, from the spirit world, comes in to connect with them, that's great in that process. But I've now
right.
learned that I am to call myself a soul coach, a Reiki master, which I have gone on to complete last February, and a psychic
Nice.
intuitive with mediumistic abilities.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Listen to spirit because they'll guide you, and what they guide you is going to be the best for you in every moment.
And I'm now
So,
working through a couple of courses that are going to be connecting me with the angelic powers and vibrations and working with them. So once I get my certification, I can add that to my repertoire, but it's a combination of angel healing energy and medical and just based in quantum physics, and so it has that science and energy mix to it, which is it blowing me out of the water. I absolutely love it.
and right, energy and science go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Um, you can't separate the two, and you don't want to, because the physical and the metaphysical go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go into a little bit more um, about I'm going to go back to the essential oils. I want you to tell me about how they come into your life. And the other thing I'd like you to do is, we talked about your clients, and maybe you can share one positive experience you've had with one of your clients that stands out in your mind, that will bring information to our audience that will help them.
So essential oils, I'll be the first to admit, when I first brought them into my life, I was not a believer. I did not trust that they were going to do what people claimed they were going to do. And so I brought them in and I used them. I had an open mind, but I was still had a part of my mind that was shut off, that wouldn't allow it to come in. So that's why it wasn't doing what they could be doing. And I was introduced to them again a couple of years later at a new event where I was offering my soul connection readings and card readings and mini Reiki sessions. And when I was, just there, the energy of the room was so different from anything that I had experienced in the past. And so when one of the people that I connected with during that event approached me about using them, I thought, sure, why not? Like, energy of plants, I'm into the energy stuff. I'm in a different place in my spiritual journey now than I was when I first brought them into my life. And it was with a different brand. So, it's all about the energetic balance. And that's something that I've learned. So I found something that resonates with me on my vibrational level. And I was never a big medication person to begin with. Like, if I had a headache before, I wasn't taking medication. I was doing my best to go to sleep, relax, try and release it in a natural way. But now I have these essential oils, I have the daily supplements, and I have the pain relief and that sort of thing, that I can now say I have replaced most of my medicine cabinet with essential oil products. I actually make my own laundry detergent now. That is huge, so and I know it's natural. I know what's going into it, and I know that it's going to help release some of the oxidative stress within my body and within my family's environment. So for me, anything I can do for my family is huge. Another thing I use the essential oils for as well is I create intuitive blends. So when I do a diffuser blend, or like, my son is 6 and he has a diffuser in his room. I have a diffuser in our bedroom, and we have one in our living room. We have cats, so we have pets that I have to be mindful of. So there are some scents that you can't have around animals, but for the most part, when it comes to the intuitive blends, it's spot on. I have books where I use to read up on the energetic side of the essential oils. And, so even if you're not looking to use it for physical ailments or improvements, using the oils for an energetic and emotional side of things is beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. And when I'm guided to use certain oils in our diffusers or on a roller blend, just to help uplift or shift or, anything that we have, and I go and I look up the oils that I'm intuitively drawn to, it matches so perfectly with the situation that I can't help but thank Spirit's guidance, because I've trusted in them to show me, okay, this is the one I'm going for today. And I pick it up and go, oh, well, that's exactly what I've been experiencing today. So this is why I need it.
Right.
So it's been pretty amazing.
Doing things a little differently than what we're used to doing, where you have your symptom, you get a prescription, and the prescription has to do with your symptom. It's the other way around. You're asking Spirit what you need. It's giving you what you need, and you're realizing it's exactly what you need because it's healing your symptom.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, this is something that I've been taught, is that we have 3 levels of ailments in our bodies. We have physical, emotional, and spiritual. If you are aware and you can connect directly to the spiritual aspect of it, then you can really dig deep. It could be past life, it could be trauma, it could be, it could lead back to the Akashic records, and that's, something that Teza can help you with if you ever needed to, connect with her. But those things are a lot of times for people who are not as far on their spiritual journey as others are, don't quite see or understand. And that's totally fine. Not everyone is going to be on that level. So if you're not able to really connect and get it on the spiritual level, then you're going to have these emotions. So you're going to have outbursts of anger, you're going to have depression, you're going to have anxiety, and you're not going to understand why. And again, those things are symptoms of a spiritual connection that are in need of deeper
repair.
Yeah, more in-depth knowledge and connection and to repair and to understand, for sure. So if you're unable to really understand what's going on that emotional level, it will then manifest itself as a physical ailment. It could be a disease. It could be just a one-time injury. It could be anything physical within your body, and that will force you to stop. The unfortunate part is that most people who are, again, not that far along on their spiritual journeys, they're going to think, oh, I hurt myself. It's a physical thing. That's all I have to do the physical part, and then end it there. If we kind of dig deeper into the emotional and the spiritual side of things, we will understand that we can completely release it from our bodies and not have it with the struggles again in the future. And I have had multiple experiences of those situations where I have released the energetic portion of things, and it has never reoccurred. So it's been pretty cool to watch and have that proof within my own body and my own lifetime of experiences to see the proof.
Yeah, it's so amazing, I know. And it's so amazing when you experience it yourself rather than going to someone else to have it experienced. When you work with yourself and you work with your own senses and your own emotions and your own physical body, and you see you heal you, that's the most amazing experience one could have.
Absolutely.
So share with us now a client story that you've had great success with.
Oh, it depends on your definition of success. And for me, I think And I believe that all of my clients have success in one form or another. There are a couple of
Absolutely.
situations that I can think of. One was a soul coaching client, and one was a Reiki client where, okay, so the soul coaching client was kind of just struggling in day to day, and she was kind of feeling lost and just needed a little bit of deeper connection and guidance.
Right.
And when we sat down and started talking together, we kind of felt and we discovered that it was stemming back to generational connections. And
Right.
as we started getting into that, I started getting a visual of a room, which I then started to describe to her. And it was like really, really detailed. I saw the color of the walls. I saw a piano. I saw intricate details of things that were placed on top of the piano.
Wow.
And as I kept describing this to her, she kind of looked at me and she went, "You are describing my grandparents' home."
Wow.
I obviously have never met her grandparents. I have no idea what they're like, or what. She's never shown me pictures or anything. And as soon as I started talking about that and brought her into that moment in that room where she could release her feelings and the energies of her feelings, she just immediately broke down into tears. And it was able to give her that release that she needed to move forward in her own life.
Right.
And I've seen her since, and she actually said, that release that I was able to give in talking to my grandparents and telling them how I felt. She said,
Right.
I felt light and so clear since then. So,
Oh,
I mean, that blew me away because we all have doubts. We all
yeah.
struggle at times. And to know that something like that that's
Yes.
literally impossible for me to know or see without spirit's guidance, truly beyond anything I could have imagined.
Fact is
So
that you have trust in spirit to receive. If that trust weren't there, then that reception wouldn't be there and that
yeah,
experience wouldn't be there. So that trust is so important.
exactly. And so for the Reiki client, I have a regular Reiki client that I have, and this gentleman I've been Reiki on him for, I want to say, almost 2 years now. And we did a session, and as I was doing most of my Reiki sessions, I follow spirit. So there have been sessions where I've done Reiki and soul coaching at the same time
Right.
because that's what I'm guided to do. Normally, my Reiki sessions, nice music, relaxing, just, they're on the massage table and I do the Reiki energy feeling flow through, and then we discuss
Right.
the end. Um, for this specific session, things were being shown to me about my childhood. I don't have a connection with this gentleman from my childhood. So,
Right.
but it was all sad memories. Like they're memories that I wish I had back. They're memories that I wish that I could, connect with again. And so
Right.
when our session was done, I said to him, I said, I'm not sure why they're showing me my childhood memories and they're making me feel extremely sad, but I'm wishing, like I'm almost mourning for those. And it was like going fishing with my father and those types of really enjoyable memories. And that's when he said, well, that's because he just had a family member pass away who was extremely important to him and treated him like one of his children. So those were the types of memories that he had with this person. So it really connected on a deeper level. And because he tests me on a regular basis, and it's funny because he tells me that he tests me, and I appreciate those because it keeps me on my toes and it keeps me humble.
Yeah.
So,
and like I was say, if you didn't trust spirit and what you saw and decided to dismiss what you saw rather than express what you saw, that whole experience wouldn't have been there.
exactly.
So there's power in being truthful to your experience in the moment. And however crazy or far-fetched or whatever it seems, you still have to express what it is that you're seeing.
Absolutely. I have had things come into because I'm a very visual person. So I have a lot of symbols, a lot of visuals, a lot of, like, sometimes I actually, they look like a movie playing in my mind's eye. And when that happens, I have to take a step back because I get blown away at how vivid these are. And it just, like, there was a time when we were doing a practice in one of my classes that I recall. So we had to stand behind the person and place our hands on their shoulders and then describe what was happening. And it was like somebody had taken me as an eagle's eye view over top of some trees and then down into the valley and set down on a beach with an indigenous setup, like a whole community right there on the water. And like I could talk about how many people there were, how many homes were set up, where the fire was. Like, it was so intricately detailed. And I found out that it was the person's spirit guide who was showing me their community.
So crazy.
It was so beautiful.
It is. That's just amazing. Melanie, so I understand for the event that's happening now, you can tell us a little bit more about the event, but you're not going to be evented there, is that right?
I am going to be there as a healer.
As a healer, okay.
Yes.
And so, what's been your role in this event, and how did it all come together, and how did you connect with Teza? And share a little bit about that so that we can tell everyone how and where to find you at this event and after this event.
So at this event, I was introduced to the event through the lovely person who introduced me to essential oils, Jolly Komodo. I'm totally blanking on her last name right now. I am so sorry. Jolly is going to be there with the essential oils and doing her teachings and showing people of the essential oils. And I will be sharing a table with her. So I will be doing my healings on one end of the table, and she will have the essential oils and everything on the other side of the table. I will be offering guided channeled writings, and it will be done on a piece of paper that people will actually get to take home with them, which is going to be kind of a nice little, I've never offered this at any event I've done prior to, so this is a very new thing that Spirit has said the time is now. So I will be offering that at this event. I will also be offering my soul connection readings, which are absolutely beautiful connections. And that is where I get permission from the people, because the soul is the most intimate part of our being on this earth right now in this lifetime. So I would never connect to anyone without their permission first. And once given permission from the person sitting with me, I then ask my soul to connect to their soul, and I receive a visual representation of where their soul is at this point in time. And I describe everything, anything that I am being shown, I describe it to the person. And along with that, for the most part, there are maybe some guidance or some information given to let the person know how to move forward or how to connect deeper, because that's one thing I've found is that we struggle as spiritual beings in human form. We do struggle to connect to our soul. And to connect to our soul on a deeper level, some people just don't know how or don't know what steps to take. So in doing this type of a reading, the soul can say, hey, if you want to connect with me deeper, do this, try this, make this part of your daily rituals or events or tasks, and this will assist you in really connecting deeper. So there'll be that. I will have offerings of mini chair Reiki sessions. So it'll be focusing on the chakra points within our body, the main chakra points within our body. So it'll be flowing the energy of Reiki through our body and offering the healing in that way. And I will have a couple of card decks as well to offer some card readings if people wish to go that route as well.
Well, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie, for being with us. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for telling us about 888. And when you have a moment, send me your information so I can share it with everyone, how to reach you, the pricing of your services, and so we can get more people to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, Melanie. Is there anything you want to share perhaps that I haven't shared or that I haven't asked you and you were hoping I would?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, there's so much to this whole energy field, the world, and the spiritual journey that I'm on, that there's always something that gets missed or that I haven't talked about in this moment. And I mean, that's okay. Like I have a Facebook page, I have Instagram, Her Healing Guidance. So it's just her.healing.guidance, both Facebook and Instagram. And my email address is just her.healing.guidance@gmail.com. You can send me a message there, but I will send you all the information, and you can have all that information in there as well for anyone. I am still working on the pricing list for the event specifically, because I will be having special pricing for the event. Spirit is telling me that guided writings, I do typically charge $40 for them. But Spirit is telling me that there's going to be a special price of $33 for the event, and I can accept debit, credit card, or cash, because I'll have a little square machine, so that there's that. But yeah, it sounds like Spirit wants me to kind of 33 is the special number that they want me to use. So the guided writings and a couple other things that we'll work through as well. There'll be like 15 to 20 minute type sessions. So it'll be a great.
I'm looking forward to it. Forward to meeting you, and hopefully, if I'm there and when I'm there, we'll be able to come by your booth and get a little feel for what's going on and how well you're doing, and you could share with us then what your experience at the event is.
That sounds
Thank you, Melanie.
I will be there both Saturday and Sunday, the 8th and the 9th.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for joining us once again. It was a great pleasure.
My pleasure as well. Thank you for having me. Many blessings.
Hey, how was that? Were you okay with that?
Yeah.
No echo, no breakage. Yay!
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Excellent. Excellent. So I will get this done hopefully in the next couple of days and then hopefully send you a link and we'll move forward.
Sure, no problem. I'm actually heading out of town on Saturday, so I'll be driving. I'm heading out to Calgary, so I'll be gone for about a week and a half. I'll be coming back just before the event starts.
And I will Facebook message you the website. I haven't got your profile up yet because what I need is a picture of you,
Okay.
a bio, picture, and the bio should be just text. You can just email me text if you want.
Yep, I had sent it to Tanya, so I can just forward off what I sent to them.
It's okay.
Because I know that's one of the things that I had asked if Tanya had, and she said that she did, but I've sent it to Teza as well, but I have no problem. I'm just pulling up my email right now. I'm just going to see my sent. I'll just send it over to yourself. And I will copy my bio and then send you. So I have I have my logo and then I have my images of myself, whichever you feel is the best. What is your email address?
I'll message it to you on Messenger if that's okay.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And how do you pronounce your name?
It's Shyrose.
Shyrose, okay.
I would love for you to do at some point a soul session with me, just so that when I'm talking to clients, not only just because of that, but so that when I'm talking to clients, I've had a session with you and I can authentically share with them my experience of that session.
We're on the same page because as I was describing it, they're telling me you have to do a soul connection with her. You have to do a soul connection with her. And I was like, I can't say it right now because we're in the middle of an interview. So yes, absolutely. And soul connection readings can be done through the phone. They can be done. I've done them on the phone. I've done them through video chat. I've done them in person. So they are, the coolest thing about that is that energy doesn't know time and space. So Absolutely. It doesn't matter how I connect or anything, that I will easily be able to take care of that connection with ease. So